You're gonna kill me.
You're watching video of a tourist woman's abduction late last year. Her boyfriend had just been knocked unconscious, and now she's being forced through a building, walked through a hallway.
So a friend of mine ended up sending me this video, and it's honestly the perfect example, the perfect distillation of the stupidity of the criminal. And by the way, the stupidity is not just in this criminal's actions, it's also in this criminal's name, because the man we're going to talk about today is a guy called Alix Innocent, or Alexander Innocent, aka Innocent Bubba Angel Aladdin, who apparently didn't do nothing wrong. And one of the ways that this guy ended up being arrested for the crime that he absolutely did commit is the fact that he ended up posting on social media admitting that he participated in part of the crime and making his social media post about how he was the victim so specific, so obvious that it ultimately ended up leading to his arrest because he posted the location on when the initial attack ended up happening. And again, there was more to this crime than actually was in his original video, and this should be not surprising to absolutely anyone. Again, here's the clip from Instagram where this guy says he was the victim and he had to defensively knock somebody out, and then he went back to the scene of the crime in order to film the curb to show this guy's blood on said curb, to talk about how, oh my god, he was so defensive in his actions.
Try to rob me.
Well, his Instagram account showed him recounting his night on South Beach, saying he himself was a victim, and bragging about having knocked a man out.
Had his ass going like this. That's that blood, man.
But the thing is, Alexander Innocent did not only attack the boyfriend in this particular case, but if there's a boyfriend, there's a girlfriend, and he actually ended up kidnapping this woman and trying to get her to perform sex acts upon him. So this is what we're going to talk about today. This is what we're going to discuss. One of the dumbest criminals humanly possible that's actually named Innocent. However, he is anything but innocent. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
Chilling crime began near here, where that woman's boyfriend was knocked out after the couple had just left a club. The attacker then grabbed a hold of that horrified woman, taking her into this building, where that security footage and audio picks up some of their conversation.
You're gonna kill me.
He's seen leading her through a hallway before they'd wind up on the property's roof.
So look, I absolutely love Miami. I'm a big promoter of Miami and the Florida Keys. I love Little Havana. Everybody knows this about me. It is absolute fact and, of course, a law of the AJW channel. But the fact is, going to Miami clubs, not something I'm ever interested in. Hanging out at night, especially around spring break times, that's when things go down. That's when these kind of criminals end up getting out on the streets. And this is a perfect example of somebody who is going down to Miami for a good time, ended up at a Miami nightclub, and then a thug, a criminal, an absolute monster, ended up descending upon them and attacking them. And there are many stories like this. However, again, like I said earlier on, a lot of those stories are spring break times, things going wrong when there's a lot of people and a lot of youth about in Miami. This actually ended up happening at the end of December of last year, but again, the scenario all too familiar.
A couple attacked on Miami Beach, and the woman told police she had to bite the attacker's penis to escape. The suspect has been identified as Alix Innocent, but police say he's anything but.
So look, everybody is technically innocent until proven guilty, at which case I think the judge should order this man to change his name from Alexander Innocent to Alexander Did Do, 100% did do, 100% is guilty, because as you can see right here, the evidence is quite compelling and quite overwhelming. And again, as I told you in the open of this story and showed you with the video, this guy actually places himself at the scene of the first crime, at the point where this woman was abducted after he attacked her boyfriend, sucker punching him, saying that he knocked him out, saying that he was bleeding on the curb, and celebrating that, saying that these white individuals, and they appear to be white, even though again it is blurred, ended up attacking him for no reason at all whatsoever, because, you know, they just happened to do that. It's very common that white people in the middle of the night just decide to rob a criminal black man. That's something that is very common in the United States of America. You know, if you've had a couple of concussions and of course think it's opposite day and opposite universe. But yeah, as you can see right here, he's actually dragging her by the arm. I know it's blurred, but this is what is occurring into this building, and she is worried that he is going to kill her. And apparently he had threatened to shoot and kill her unless she performed certain sexual acts upon him. And this is why he's bringing her to the roof.
That victim telling cops he threatened to shoot and kill her if she did not engage in oral sex and intercourse. Desperate and with her life being threatened, she said she was forced to perform oral sex, during which she bit the defendant's penis and managed to escape. She ran for dear life and is seen on video during her escape. The limping alleged kidnapping attacker was also seen.
But it didn't really go all that well for Alexander Innocent in this particular case, because when he got this woman up to the roof, this woman who was worried about her boyfriend, who was just knocked out cold, and he thought he had her fully intimidated, he decided that he was going to command her to perform oral sex upon him. However, she ended up biting him, if you know what I mean, and she used that bite of him as her opportunity to escape. And all I will say is this woman is blurred for obvious reasons. Obviously, in these types of crimes, people don't like to reveal the identity of the particular victim, but she acted incredibly heroically, because what she ended up doing after this was taking off, running away, and then going to find her boyfriend to make sure that he got the medical help that he needed, again, from the vicious attack that preceded this. And again, in addition to the fact that we have the surveillance video of this guy going into the building with her in arm, so we know for a fact that this guy who admits to knocking somebody out in the same location that her boyfriend was out was then dragging the girlfriend of that boyfriend to this particular rooftop. We also have video of them leaving after the fact. We have video of her running. She runs immediately to the police. There's body cam video of that. Let me give you a little play of that so you could see that for yourself.
Body camera footage shows the point of view of Miami Beach cops later tending to the hysterical victim. Her knocked out boyfriend would be taken to a hospital.
And then we have video of Alexander Innocent walking a little funny. Again, same surveillance video, same location. They're able to track him throughout the entire progression of the crime. Obviously, you have an eyewitness right here. Obviously, you have nearly overwhelming evidence to depict what happened in this particular crime. And it's at this moment in time that this guy decided to formulate his own counter strategy, which was to show his own stupid face on social media, make the claim that he was being robbed by these individuals, and in self-defense, he ended up knocking one of them out, which again is believable, I guess, again, absent all the other evidence. But then I guess he's trying to make the case that he was self-defense trying to sexually assault the girlfriend, that he self-defense dragged her to the roof, self-defense threatened to kill her, self-defense threatened to shoot her, and obviously this is not going to play in the Florida courts. Obviously the evidence is overwhelming, and this is why Alexander Innocent is one of the dumbest criminals humanly possible. And again, all the praise ends up going to this woman who got herself out of a scenario where she could have been killed by this guy and ended up getting her boyfriend medical help, ended up getting to the police, getting them called immediately, and this resulted in the arrest of this absolute scumbag in every possible way. And I know he has the word innocent in his name, so that means somebody's going to try to defend him because he's just a black man being downtrodden by society. He was only trying to commit these crimes in order to feed his starving family. It was self-defense in every possible way. You know, the self-defense assault that he committed on that guy, and then the self-defense kidnapping that he committed on this girl, and then the self-defense sexual assault that he committed on her as well, and of course the threats of self-defense further sexual assaults that he made to her. That is all supposed to be covered in this guy's idiotic mind, but no, absolutely not. We're not buying it. We know what happened right here, and yes, this guy should be convicted, and he should be sent up the river for a very long time. And if there was ever somebody who should have been placed on the outside of Alligator Alcatraz, I'm not saying that this guy's an illegal alien, it should be him. And maybe when you place him out there, you should cover him in chum, bashed up fish, so that way the gators are responding to him, because this guy absolutely deserves the worst treatment humanly possible, because that's what he inflicted upon the world. And again, he thought he was smarter than everybody else. He thought he was slick. He thought he was sly, so he posted a video claiming that he was the victim.
Hours later, he'd be found and arrested by police, charged with kidnapping and sexual battery.
Alix Innocent?
Judge Mindy Glazer taking notice of the defendant's name. the state and cops, saying Alix Innocent is anything but.
Now, I will say this clip right here is absolutely hilarious because we have Judge Mindy Glazer, who's not interested in glazing Alexander Innocent. I appreciate that. And you can see a little bit of a chuckle on her face when she reads his name, that he's actually called Innocent. I mean, of all the things to name this criminal, this thug, this absolute scumbag, and yeah, he looks like the monster that he absolutely is, because make no mistake about it, the guy is scum in every possible way, and he deserves the worst kinds of punishment. Now, of course, some people are going to argue that maybe he's too stupid to stand trial. I mean, he did post that Instagram video thinking that he would get away with it, thinking that if he threw out his version of events, then that would ultimately end up leading to him being found not guilty and found to be the victim of all things. But it just goes to show you how insane these people are, how stupid these people are, and how the arguments about crime being down to poverty, like this guy actually was experiencing poverty, so that's why he did what he did in this particular case, being absurd and ridiculous. Now, of course, it still has to be adjudicated. We still have to see the trial. We still have to see all of those steps for him to be legally declared guilty, but it's not looking good when he's on video and she's like, oh my God, you're gonna kill me. And he's like, no, I ain't, as he's dragging her up to this roof where this occurred. The limp after the fact, not looking good. The fact that he posted about the assault, not looking good. But again, I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. As per usual, if you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the absolute madness of Alexander Innocent, not in any way, shape, or form. Till next time.